Hello ladies and gentlemen, we have another update. In fact, we've got several updates on the movie Rust and everything that occurred with that entire situation. Now, I think there's going to be about 3 videos today about this whole thing, which I know may sound like overkill, but it's really important that all of this is covered, that all of this is out there. Why? Well, because there's individuals now, obfuscating the blame, there's people lawyering up, but all of this is as a result of not necessarily videos specifically like this, but the talk, right? The fact that there is pressure being mounted from individuals, that people are actually going to face the consequences of either their complacency, their negligence, or just generally their actions. Now, this is interesting because this is a few days old, right? This was released on the 25th. I didn't see it. Someone sent it through to me via Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at @MrHReviews, as well as on Instagram. But this was fascinating because this confirms all the things which I had said before. Veteran prop master turned down Rust film, quoting, "It was an accident waiting to happen." Now that's a veteran prop master. If someone like that, a veteran in the industry, is starting to get those kind of negative vibes from a film, dealing with the executive producers and just everything, how it's handled, not good. And some of the things which this person identifies that was concerning to them is actually all to do with budget. The individuals were more concerned about keeping the cost down than safety, right? Which is just repeating things which I had said. This was obviously assumptions at the time. It was, deductions of what had been stated by other people, and just how the budget alone, you could tell it was a cheap film. And the fact that they hadn't bothered to pay anyone either, which was shocking. But let's dive into it, because again, fascinating stuff. You guys have been appreciating the ongoing commentary on this entire situation. And like I say, as a result of this, the assistant director, as well as the armourer, have now lawyered up. They have had to lawyer up because they are concerned, and rightfully so, because of complacency. So let's take a look, right? And this is a fairly revealing and interesting article via the LA Times. Not specific care about the LA Times, but good that they had this anyway. So Neil W. Zoromsky has spent 3 decades in Hollywood working on movies, big and small, but never on a Western. So he was thrilled last month when he was asked to join the crew of an Alec Baldwin film in New Mexico. Now, the veteran prop master immediately told Rust production managers that he was interested in the job that would give him responsibility for the accoutrements of the Old West. Pistols, rifles, wagons, saddles, and flour sacks were needed to recreate 1880s Kansas for Baldwin, who was playing a grizzled outlaw named Harland Rust, which really, quite sadly and ironically, is all about his son, Harland Rust's son, being wrongly sentenced to death for murder, basically, which he didn't do. So there's some sort of sick irony in there somewhere. But here's the interesting stuff. But during 4 days of informal discussions with film managers, so just 4 days, Zoromsky said he got a bad feeling. There were massive red flags, he said in an interview with the Sunday Times. The Times, sorry. My bad, my mistake. He said he felt that Rust was too much of a slapdash production, with one with an overriding focus on saving money instead of a concern for people's safety. Now, we don't have to just take his word for this. We've had individuals walk off the set. 6 crew members walked off the set and were subsequently replaced with non-union members that morning. And why did they walk off the set? Because of safety, not being paid, right? Contracts not being met. They weren't put up in a hotel. They weren't paid. They were paid two weeks of pay went missing and things like this. I mean, this is all bad signs, but it also just introduces what this person has already said as being pretty legitimate at that point. Production managers didn't seem to value experience. We know that. How do we know that? Because they did hire an armourer that didn't have any experience. Or what, one film with Nicolas Cage, where Nicolas Cage actually stormed off from working with her because she wasn't particularly great either. Yeah, fantastic. Well, great experience. Production managers didn't seem to value experience and were brushing off his questions, he said. Now, that's not good. You know, interviewing for films is a pretty careful process. You need the right fit for the right role, for the right job, for the right production, etc. I know, I've done it. I've hired people for making films. And it's a discussion. It's, can I gel with you? Can we work together? Can we create an experience that's going to be ultimately beneficial for the media output that we're looking to create? So Zaromsky ultimately told Rust production managers that he would take a pass. And after I pressed send on that email, I felt in the pit of my stomach that is an accident waiting to happen. Now, look, a lot of this stuff is like, oh, well, you know, hindsight. Oh, well, in hindsight, you know, retrospect. But this is a veteran working in the industry for 30 plus years. You know, we only have to see who they did hire eventually as the armourer, who they did hire as the assistant director. All of these things, you know, they do add up. We can say hindsight is a great thing. Of course we can. Absolutely, of course we can. But there's something to be said categorically for the situation which has unfolded in front of us, which seems to echo what this individual has said. Now, there are some other comments here. You know, again, they do say this. You know, tensions were boiling on set on Thursday the 12th. Which is a 21-day in production. Union camera operators and their assistants had walked off the job to protest working conditions. I mean, that's not good. That's not good at all. Not good at all. You know, there's the comment of days earlier, a camera operator had reported 2 accidental gun discharges during a rehearsal in a cabin. This is super unsafe. An accident won't happen. Absolutely. Now, Zaromsky, who lives in Los Angeles, is haunted by Hutchins' death. He believes that had he accepted the Rust job, things would have turned out differently. I take my job incredibly seriously. As the prop master, you have to be concerned about safety. I'm the guy who hands the guns to the people on set. And no doubt would have done a better job of checking if live rounds were in the chambers or the barrels, whatever the gun lingo is. Which now the armourer has said, I've got no idea how live ammo got in there. We don't allow live ammo on set. I don't know if I checked it. Well, obviously you didn't then. Come on. Like, it's not rocket science, is it? Not good. Not good. Now, anyway, there's some background on Zaromsky and things like this. No point going into that about who he is and things like that. You know, he has a fairly extensive career. You know, Day After Tomorrow. You know, Jason Reitman's film, Thank You for Smoking. He's a good amount of experience. Let's put it that way. Now, he felt that Rust production managers were being evasive when he asked about specific terms of his potential employment. The budget estimated about $7 million. I think that's gone up now. I think it was between 6 and $9 million, if I remember rightly. I could be wrong, but I think that had gone up ever so slightly. Either that's gone up from their perspective. They're saying that it's now 7. It might have been 6 previous to that. But it seemed too small for the type of film the producers were attempting to make. He couldn't get an answer on the budget for his kit, industry jargon for his cachet of props needed to stock the set. He said he also became alarmed because it was just 2 weeks before Rust was set to begin filming. If you haven't hired a prop master these things do happen. You know, people do get hired at the last minute. But 2 weeks to hire a prop master without a budget in mind either because they're being evasive, that's not particularly good. That's actually really concerning. Really concerning. You know, and as they state here, you know, producers hadn't hired a prop master. Typically those decisions are made weeks, even months before the cameras roll. Yeah. In the movies, the prep is everything. You also need to clean, inspect, and repair guns. You need time to fix old clocks. In period films, you are sometimes using antiques. But here, there was absolutely no time to prepare, and that gave me a bad feeling. It's just rush. It's just rush. Now, this is the deal breaker. Zaromsky said he initially asked for a department of 5 technicians. He was told that Rust was a low-budget production and that plans were to use items from a local prop house. He modified his request to have at least 2 experienced crew members, one to serve as an assistant prop master and the other as an armourer or gun wrangler, dedicated to making sure the weapons were safe, oiled and functioning properly. But the Rust producers insisted that only one person was needed to handle both tasks. You never have a prop assistant double as the armourer, Zaromsky said. Those are 2 really big jobs. Yeah, Walters, the production manager, sent Zoromsky an email September 24th that read, "We'd really like one of the assistants to be the armourer that can push up on the gunfights and heavy armour days," according to a copy of the email shared with the Times. Walters did not respond to a request for comment. Zoromsky, which I do actually have some comments from executive producers, basically just saying, we're not responsible. So that's going to be interesting. You'll like that video. It's fascinating stuff. Zoromsky replied saying, "Unfortunately, I have to pass on this opportunity. I'm grateful for your interest and wish nothing but the very best for you, your crew, and the show." And then they went and hired Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, which she announced on Facebook that she had a new gig on a film in Santa Fe. According to a screenshot of a recent social media post which was shared with the Times, she landed the job as the property key assistant armourer on Rust, according to the production notes. And then rightfully so, this article notes that questions are being raised about Reed's experience and her performance on the job. Gutierrez-Reed had worked as head armourer on only one other production before Rust, it didn't go very well either. So there you go. Not the best, but well, none of this is the best, really. I mean, it literally just goes to confirm what we've been saying all along. It was just negligence, safety negligence, failings from the top down, from hiring to just the overall outlook of the film. If your outlook from the outset is we need this to be cheap, just get it done. One, that's going to be a shit film. Like, that is going to be crap. Do the best with what you've got, but you're just clamping down, not hiring people to the last minute, and then getting inexperienced people who are now saying, well, there's an accident waiting to happen. What a surprise. Shocking stuff. Absolutely shocking. If you've been appreciating the coverage here, please do hit that like button and please do share this video, because I didn't even realise this had come out. But this is fascinating stuff. So leave your thoughts down below. Thank you so much. Take care.